Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you are doing good. A lot of times people ask me details about the exam pattern and what all to prepare for NIFT and NID, CEED and all such exams. And a lot of times I tell them that solve previous year question papers and you'll get to know. But this particular time I felt like I should be doing a very structured and methodical way of telling you what all topics you should study. So this video is particularly about covering different topics which you need to study for your design entrance exam preparation. Now these topics may vary in weightage as per the type of exam, the pattern of the exam particularly to a college. So for example, NIFT will have certain topics in higher percentage compared to CEED. Undergrad exam will have certain topics more compared to a postgrad exam and stuff like that. But more or less, these are the top 20 topics which cover almost all types of design exams. Okay, so here we go. These 20 are here I have listed, and I'll explain you briefly what each topic is all about. So number one is visualization, which is very important for any sort of creative field, any sort of design exam. In visualization, they can give you any kind of problem statement, and you have to think about it in your head and come up with a solution. It can be a problem like creating a scenario or visualizing a scenario like a mela or a busy street or a place like airport or any kind of social scenario. You have to visualize like how it will look, how things will be placed with each other, and stuff like that. So visualization is basically an overall ability to think in your mind about spaces and scenarios. Okay, you have to visualize things in your head. It may not be a realistic one, but you have to think in your head and then maybe sketch or write about it. Okay, then second thing is spatial ability. Now spatial ability means again ability to visualize volume in either 2D or 3D, ability to visualize and think about things which are physically not there in your hand or not existing in the real world. So for these two things we do a lot of sketching, we do a lot of Lego bricks, we do 10 grams kind of puzzles and those kind of exercises to solve things mentally in your head and put up as a solution. Then third and fourth thing is again your design sense, environmental awareness, social awareness. The more you read about things around you, books, and observe things in general, like how does it feel on a traffic light, how things are on a busy airport, or how things are at a railway station, what are the issues with uh, a traffic light, what are the issues with a busy street where people are not following traffic signals or anything like that. So social awareness means you are aware about what is happening around you in the society. Suppose there are some natural calamities like floods or earthquakes. What is your opinion about that? What do you think can be a good solution to save more number of people and all sort of things like that. Then fifth and sixth are your analytical reasoning and logical reasoning. Again, it's something that you have to think from a different logic, not necessarily a mathematical logic of 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, but an analytical way of looking at things is something like an odd one out kind of question. Like you are given a lot of kitchen tools and one of the tools is a spanner which is not used in the kitchen. It can, so these kind of questions you have to think from a logical reasoning perspective. You have to analyze, okay, what the user is expecting me to answer. Then it comes to language creativity. In language creativity, they'll give you certain words and ask you to create a story out of it, or will give you a story and try to put a title for that story. It can be anything related to visual. So for this particular topic, I would highly recommend improving your communication skills. If you are from a Hindi medium or if you are not good with English, please improve your language and communication part. Please go to a English speaking class or anything, but you should be decently good with your English reading and speaking skills, so that you can do well in this language creativity part. Then eighth again is a very important topic, observation skills. Now what I mean by observation skills is they can show you some images as a cutout, not the entire image, and expects you to guess the product, guess the object, and stuff like that. It can be a question about what do you think about this scenario, and what do you think are the consequences or problems will this with this design or that design, and stuff like that. It can be anything futuristic, it can be anything in the present world, it can be any issues with the current toilets designed in railway second class, or anything like that. Then comes the design sensitivity. Again, it is something uh, which is a part of observation skills. The more you observe, the more you have that design sensitivity. So a product like, having this mouse, which is a laser mouse, versus a ball mouse, or having a product which is only good for left-handers and not good for right-handers, or vice versa. So what do you think about uh, those kind of products will come under design sensitivity, or using certain colors for certain industries or certain products? What do you think about those kind of colors? So how you evaluate a good design versus bad design, what is your idea about certain designs, will be tested in this section. Then 10th is the drawing skill, which is a basic communication tool for the entire exam. If your drawing skills are good, you can attempt a lot of other sections very well. You can do easy visualization. If your drawing is good, you can quickly sketch and figure out what fits well with what object, and solve those analytical reasoning questions also using drawing skills. So drawing skills are tested in multiple ways. They can give you scenarios, they can give you objects to draw, they can give you a question like draw an exploded view of this object, or they can ask you number of triangles and cubes and all those things in a particular object. Now you have to visualize and draw multiple views of that object, and calculate what all facets or what all sides will have, how many cubes, and those kind of questions. Then comes the creativity part, which again they'll test through multiple ways. They'll give you some doodling exercises, they can give you some scenario based questions to again check how creative, how different you can think from the other candidates or from a general class of ideas. 12th is communication skills. Again, that thing will be checked through some word based problems, or through color sense based questions, like what do you think will be the right colors for anger, or sympathy, or love, or passion, or all those things. So communication skills can also be through words or through colors, and how can basically you communicate will be checked through different aspects. 13th is the analytical skills. Again, how do you analyze a problem? They can ask you to visualize a scenario and think about different outcomes of that scenario in an analytical way, like what are the goods and the bads of this and that kind of design. So they'll check your analytical ability. Then 14th is the problem solving skills. They'll give you a scenario, they'll give you an object, and they'll say, okay, this object has these many problems, or this is a particular problem that I need to solve with using these three materials. I need to build something using paper cups, and it has to be waterproof, it should carry that much weight, and blah blah blah. So these kind of problems can be put under the problem solving skills. Then 15th is again a general knowledge thing. Anything can be asked in the general knowledge section, but particularly these topics will have more questions related to design and design awareness kind of GK questions. So what I mean by that is, suppose you have seen a particular film from Satyajit Ray, or any great directors, or any event that has happened in the design world, some great designer, his name or his product will be shown to you, and you will be asked like who designed this and that, those kind of things. It won't be a lot of political questions. in my opinion. But still, you should go ahead and read the entire Manorama and any GK book which you can get. Okay. Then comes the graphic sense. Again, they'll show you some images, maybe a piece of typography or a paragraph, and they'll expect you to figure out what font it is, what kind of typeface is used, whether it's serif, sans serif, slab serif, and all those things. So a lot of times certain things will be checked through just the observation part or just the awareness part of you knowing the thing or not knowing the thing. That's why I emphasize a lot on reading different types of books, different design books, because a question about color or a question about which aperture is used for what shutter speed, for camera related questions and all those things, you cannot get these kind of questions in a GK book at random. So you have to read multiple things and then build your knowledge base in a way that whatever is happening around you, you are aware of it. Almost 60-70 part of it, you are aware of the world around you. So reading books is very important. Then 17th and 18th is again a type of graphical sense only. There can be particular questions about color sense. Let's say I gave you a scenario where I have just 3 colors. Now using those 3 colors, you have to create a poster about environment day, or you have to create a poster about stop smoking, or you have to create a poster about digital currency or anything like that. Those questions will also be covered in these graphic based topics. So these type of questions will be covered under your graphic sense, particularly questions from the theory of design perspective will be covered in this part. Then comes the emotional quotient. So they'll ask you to write a story, or they'll try to check your emotional understanding about certain scenarios. So let's say there is a poster design question about child labor. Now what different can you think about child labor from the perspective of the employer who is employing that child for his work, and also from a perspective of the child himself, that because he is not aware. So how can you create a convincing poster where the message is very very clear that child labor is bad for both the parties, and how do you communicate that there is a fine and blah 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 and all those things, right? So emotional quotient will check your emotional side of understanding of design. It may happen that there are certain objects shown to you, and you are asked to write about the emotional aspect of that particular product. So let's say I show you certain products like a piece of ink pen, a piece of blade, razor maybe, or a piece of shoe or anything like that, and then I ask you to give a word to explain the feel of it. So what do you feel when you see a shoe from Nike, or what do you feel when you see a blade or a razor, or what do you feel when you see an ink pen? So these are the kind of questions they may ask you to check your emotional quotient and stuff like that. Then the last topic is usability and aesthetics sense. Generally, they test the usability part when they give you a scenario and they expect a answer or a solution from your end, where they also consider the usability aspect as something that you will think about when you are trying to develop a solution. So for example, this is a mouse. If I try to reduce the size of the mouse to half, then the mouse goes down in the usability factor. It doesn't give enough rest to my palm. So the ideal size of a mouse is something which can cover or which can support the most part of my palm. So in any case, I cannot reduce the size to half, or I cannot expand it to almost double its size, because general human hand, particularly from the palm perspective, will not be more than 4 inches in height and width, right? So that surface area and the surface area of the mouse should be almost equal, right? So these are the factors that they will consider when you will be evaluated for those kind of designs. So when it comes to usability and aesthetic sense, you should be able to design and you should be able to think about the solution in a way that it remains usable also, and it remains good looking and aesthetically pleasing also, right? So these are the 20 topics, guys. I hope you are clear about different aspects, and I hope you understand that design is an amalgamation of various aspects. It's a hybrid study of different topics, and it's not just about making good sketches and doing a lot of portraits, and it's not just about good drawing ability. It is much beyond that. You have to apply your brain, you have to apply your emotions, you have to observe a lot of things, think through it, have your opinion, have your understanding, have your deep analytical skills with you, with your sketching ability, to succeed in this kind of exams. Okay, so I hope this video clear most of your doubts. I hope this video can give you a better understanding about the design preparation and its pattern, and I hope you will be able to structure your preparation according to these 20 topics. Okay, so I'll end this video with this. I hope you like it, and till then, bye bye, take care, see you in the next video.